Hello, everyone, wastelanders and adventurers. This is the PIPCAST 3000, a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news and sometimes have a dedicated Fallout and/or Bethesda-centric topic. This goes up every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm Caedo Genesis, joined by my co-host, Bad Company Sarge.
Hello there.
And a returning co-host, who's maybe a guest, maybe a co-host, we'll see, is Jared of Jarred Gaming.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back, man.
Thank you.
It's been since episode 65.
Yeah.
That you've been here last. And that was a little over a year ago.
Wow.
So welcome back. What's happened in the past year, Jared?
A whole lot of the same. I mean, I guess I could mention the shamelessly my second Markiplier shout out for my channel, which was a big deal at the time, but really hasn't done much for the channel.
Yeah.
But other than that, as far as
he gave you a hearty thank you, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Because
you
more
came up with something.
More personal thank you than the first time it happened.
Yeah.
But other than that, of like note, not a whole lot. Just been kind of doing same old stuff, videos and live streams and fun stuff,
Since you've returned, our topic is going to be another article from The Gamer. There are some listeners who really enjoy our takes on this. Haven't really seen anybody like super complaining about how reactionary this is. So we're gonna keep doing it for now until somebody starts loudly stating, no, this is recycled garbage content, stop making garbage.
I did at one point have to explain and link Caedo with videos to understand the difference between commentary and just watching and reading stuff. To be like, it's okay, Caedo, we are actually talking about these articles and adding some stuff to it.
It doesn't matter if it's okay to you, it has to be okay with me too.
I mean, you say that, but Caedo is the one who's linking all of the Gamer articles.
I know, yeah. I know, I feel a little guilty every single time because it is a lot easier to do than just coming up with another topic. Because that's largely what our pre-recording session is just be like, okay, what do we talk about?
Yeah.
And then we spend like an hour just hemming and hawing over subreddit topics that are interesting, or just searching for anything in the wiki that may be obscure or something worth talking about.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone listening has a topic which you don't think we've covered and would love to hear about, do comment it, because we are very much running out of ideas. Yeah,
we have a lot written down, mind you, but when it comes to recording time, we're just So there is a growing list, but only so many make it on to actually be a subject. I had we have a tip of the day and a comment of the cast before we get into the newsy stuff. Then after the news is the topic. If you're here for the topic, use the timestamps or the chapter points. That's what they're there for. But the tip of the day, Sarge, do you think you could? Oh wait, no. Tip of Jared to take this one because Jared is playing a game genre that he doesn't play.
Oh yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Tip of the day is try a different genre of game. There's a question mark there, so I feel like I have to say it that way. And to go more on what Caedo is talking about. Should I talk about that now though, or or towards the end for the game that we're playing?
Maybe in a broader sense,
okay.
like try something different kind of thing.
So I played for the first time today my very first Souls-like game. If anyone's listening remembers, I'm sure we talked about it last time I was on at some point, how much I loathe games with boss battles in them. Just why I've never played Dark Souls. I never played Elden Ring or Bloodborne or any of those types of games. And then there was just a game that came out, maybe even today, I don't know. I saw it when I got home and I decided to play it and I got really mad, but I finally did it. I played a different game genre. So I hope you're proud of me.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, Jared.
I beat the first boss.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah. And it felt great. I mean, I get it now. I do get it, but yeah, I'll probably play it some more. But we can go into more detail later.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe when I played the Surge, like, I decided, like, I know you, Sarge, like, you played like Dark Souls 3? Is it Dark Souls 3?
I mean, I've played all the Dark Souls.
The one that you streamed.
I think I may have streamed all the Dark Souls as well. I'm
you
not
got,
sure
you
which
got to
one
a
it
certain
was.
point, and then you were just like, I'm
Dark
putting
Souls
this
3
down
was
now.
the one I streamed
3,
most recently. Most recently, once again, being like within the past few years.
So maybe an extension on the tip is that you don't have to complete it if you're not enjoying yourself.
Yeah, it's try a different genre of game, not completely convert to a different genre of game.
Not do the thing that I did and completely like punish yourself. Like, I'm gonna finish this game, and then getting just I don't think I've ever been that angry at a video game when I played through the Surge, because I got through the whole thing, and that it turned me off of all Souls-like games after that point, because I knew like I had to try it because it was kind of in the like sci-fi realm of stuff that I kind of like, which is what enticed me to play it, but like I can still brag about playing it in its hardest version, which is cool, but still they're not for me. I tried it. I tried it too long.
Hey,
not for me.
I completely understand, because I have to admit that I played the original Dark Souls one time, and in like the very beginning of the game, this surely is not spoilers, but maybe it is, so whatever, do with that information as you will. But like the beginning of the game, you go to like this there's like a graveyard you can go to, and I'm like, ooh, first area, I'll clear some stuff, and I got wiped completely, and I'm like, this is the beginning of the game. Why
I know
did
exactly
I just
what you
get
did.
destroyed?
You went down a set of stairs instead of up a different set of stairs. Because that is something like almost everyone, if they go into Dark Souls not knowing which staircase to go up, does. And up one set of stairs are a few skeletons, which are kind of tough but not bad. And on the other one are like enemies you don't want to fight for another 20 levels or whatever. And they're right next to the starting kind of location.
Yeah, I did that. And I was like, I'm not playing this ever again.
But because Dark Souls has such a tough reputation as well, when you go down there, you're like, man, those enemies were really tough. I guess Dark Souls is such a difficult game. It doesn't even come through as this is something wrong. It's just like, wow, no, tough game, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe it's the being punished for exploring too thing that like probably gets me a little bit, like just a little bit. But anyway, there's the tip of the day. Try a different genre. Like you can hate it, but at least you can say you tried it. Don't do what I did though. Like don't like punish yourself by playing all the way through if you're not enjoying yourself. Thank you, Jared, for hitting that tip.
My pleasure.
Sarge, pick a comment of the cast.
Let's go with the angry one.
Okay.
It'll get more reactions.
Sure.
So Exia, possibly is that how you pronounce it? No idea.
Exisa?
It's EXYSA. I'm not in a country that spells any words like that, I don't think, so I'm sorry. But they say, CD Projekt Red are inexperienced amateurs and scammers now. That's why so many left CDPR. That's why Cyberpunk 2077 is so trash. So that's quite a strong opinion.
Yep.
Would be the way to say. I actually, before coming over here to record this, I looked through the comments in the last episode and I was like, man, that's a real strong angry one. I wonder, we probably shouldn't talk about that or anything, that's a bit harsh. And then as soon as I sit down here at my desk, it's the first thing I see is this comment.
Yeah. I put it there because, you know, this is our one Cyberpunk trash talk for like the episode.
Oh no, I'm gonna defend slightly in this case. Because I think this is a prime example of the internet either being like, oh my god, this thing is perfect, or oh my god, this thing is the worst ever. Like, the last comment, Cyberpunk 2077 is so trash, that's a bit exaggerated, I guess, a little bit, but overall not too bad. The part that gets me is CD Projekt Red are inexperienced amateurs and scammers now. That's the part where I'm like, that's too far. That's
just blatantly incorrect and also insulting to the people who worked on stuff like that.
Yeah, if they'd been like, CD Projekt Red completely screwed up this project, that'd be like, harsh, but that's a fair criticism. But just because they made a game which lots of people think are bad, not everyone though, not everyone, let's keep that in mind. It's not like universally a trash game. We're not talking E.T. for the Atari here. We're talking just a very buggy RPG which didn't meet its potential. So I feel like this is a bit
and maybe getting abandoned. We don't know yet because we haven't seen much.
No.
But also I thought it was kind of funny and ironic. Funronic? Anyway, Exisa, you also have a cyberpunk avatar.
Yeah.
So at some point, you probably liked cyberpunk, and that's unfortunate that you had to experience this. A lot of us did. But you might want to consider changing your avatar now if this is your opinion on the game. Or it could just be an ironic comment as a whole, and we're all being, taken for fools.
Oh,
which
yes.
is possible.
It's always the fools who don't read the irony in something with no hint of it. Ah, what idiots. How do they not know I was joking when I stabbed them? Haha, the fools.
But yeah, thank you for the comment, Exisa. You have been the comment of the cast. That's probably one of the more spicy ones we've decided, or I've decided to put on the outline, and Sarge decided to read.
The only spicy one on the last episode. It was mostly people just being nice and helpful and stuff.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. What losers. What decent people. God, they all suck.
Don't they know they're
Such
on freaking YouTube? They can't be nice.
Yeah. Nope. No niceness here. So I don't have to read off like what our last topic was, even though it was another The Gamer article and it was funny. It was like one of the worst ones we've read.
It was painful.
So check out that episode
Don't
after
save
you
yourself.
listen to this one.
It's too much. You won't be able to handle it.
Well, we didn't know about the secret faction known as the Syndicate in Fallout 4 before we read that article. So anyway, let's get on to the news.
Yes.
Something that I found was something recent by XPlay. Adam Sessler kind of headed this one. A lot of you G4 fans and stuff like that. Tech TV was prior to G4. Man, I'm old. So this is a coverage of like what exactly kind of went down when it came to Anthem and its ultimate like failure kind of thing, like a post-mortem, if you will. It's almost a half hour long. I do recommend it if you're interested in seeing like kind of a, not just an angry rage take, but instead like a fair take on like what do you think was happening internally, what we know via reports, that kind of stuff, just to, I don't know, maybe increase your awareness of like what developers actually go through when it comes to, a project completely plateauing and then dropping off, or taking a very long time to develop, a whole lot of nothing because there's no clear direction, which is kind of like a 50-50 of what what was going on with Anthem. Just something I highly recommend if you have a half hour to spare, Saturday morning cartoon worth of time to spare. Check out the Secret History of Anthem. And I just like the new format that XPlay has taken on some of their videos. Like it's really cool.
I miss G4 TV, man.
Yeah.
I used to watch it all the time.
I tried watching this video and didn't enjoy it.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, it's fine for the right kind of person. My biggest problem with it is like the first quarter of the video isn't really talking about Anthem. It just takes too long to kind of get into it for me. And I tried playing it at like even double speed and skipping through, but I lost interest too much because there's a lot of the history of BioWare before you get the history of Anthem.
Yeah, it's setting the stage. I mean,
Yeah.
you can see their intent, because like I think it seems like they made this, like I do guides, they kind of made this for people who don't know, like don't have any idea what could have happened. So they have to like add context, be like, yeah, BioWare was really good at one point.
They will be again.
I mean,
They will be once again sometime.
if
maybe.
they'd like just shortened that section down to a minute instead of about 7, I probably would have stuck around for a bit longer, but just not quite for me. But it's fine.
Yeah.
Not saying it's a bad video. I'm just saying
Okay.
it wasn't my thing.
Well, if you're not Sarge,
Which
Give it-
I'm
give it a-
guessing at least half of
give
you
it a
are.
try. Man, something else. None of us have given a try at all.
Oh, I can't believe you assumed correctly that none of us would try the new Wonderlands DLC.
What is this, Sarge?
You
What
psychic?
happened?
Oh, it's garbage, probably. Which I think everyone has assumed. Okay, so Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, a game which I think we all enjoyed before the DLC launched.
Yep.
It's like a fun
I
little
liked
fantasy
it.
take on Borderlands. Yeah, it was pretty good. Then they were like, here's the DLC, it's one dungeon. Here's the next DLC, it's a slightly different dungeon. Oh, you're not going to believe what the third DLC is. Wow, another dungeon. Yeah, so the DLCs for this game suck, and I've genuinely changed it from, I remember seeing people being like, oh, this is the best game in the series, oh, I love this so much, it's so cool and whatever, to now it just being absolutely clowned on. The trailer has 11,376 views and only 339 likes. That's, like, a bad ratio. You can't see dislikes anymore, annoyingly, but I'm certain that the dislikes more than double.
I'm
And
pretty sure there's an
like
extension you could put on to bring him back.
I have seen that, but I haven't bothered looking into it. Probably should. I like knowing how many dislikes there are. I'll
Yeah.
add one more.
The ratio's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just a case of, because all the DLCs for this game have been so bad, this new DLC, which I think does come with a new class, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a
Yep.
new player class, which is the most interesting thing by far. But because all the previous DLCs were literally just a dungeon with, like, a boss at the end, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah.
Too little, too late.
Do we know
Kinda.
how much, just out of curiosity, like cost of the DLC?
Let's check.
Have there been
I
other
will-
DLCs other than this one? Because honestly, I haven't played the game since it first came out.
There were 3 other DLCs.
There's 3
yeah, this
others,
is the 4th
okay.
one, but each of them was literally a dungeon that you go through with a boss at the end.
I'm just curious if they were
that's
full
the
price,
entire
like, you know, $30 DLCs for one dungeon, because that would just be like injury to insult kind of a
I don't
thing.
think
Oh,
they're
this-
$30. I think they're like $10 or something. Like, they're still more than they should be.
Fair.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try and check on Epic, because I'm getting a key for it, which is 20 quid, which cannot be right. So that's like, that would be like a almost $30 DLC.
I haven't logged into Epic for a long time now. It's asking me for a password that I forgot.
Oh, no. I hate when it does that.
No.
Do I not? I just searched
Good thing I can
Wonderlands
check
and
my
I can't
browser.
find it.
Okay. Let's hope that that's the right password.
Wonderlands.
If
Watch
not,
me
your
just-
computer explodes.
Watch me just speak my password out loud while I'm typing.
Okay, the DLC is £7.99 UK money, so probably $10 US dollars, and it's the same for all of them. And
Okay.
they are once again all just a dungeon with a boss at the end. I cannot stress enough, there is not more to it than that. There's like no story stuff. It's just like, here's some enemies who you have already fought in the base game. Here's a boss who's just a little different, normally a variation on something in the base game. You can do it again if you want, and get more loot.
That's disappointing.
Oh yeah, so disappointing. This is why the game has, like, been laughed at. It could have been good, because the Borderlands games as well have some great DLC. Like, it's not all good, some of the DLCs are a bit, But overall, I think people are like, yeah, I'll get the season pass for the Borderlands game because there's fun new story stuff and going to interesting locations. But this time around, Gearbox just screwed it up big time.
It's too bad because like the game was like the base game was fun.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed it. I played it a little bit with Eddie and then I ended up just finishing it on my own, and I enjoyed it. It was a good game. It's too bad that they kind of got lazy with it. You think they would have, prepared like, hey, this game's good. Maybe we should make some good DLCs to kind of keep the momentum going instead of not.
Yeah. I genuinely, when the first of the 4 DLC came out, assumed that this was just like going to be a rotating thing where we got a new dungeon every week or something as just one DLC. But no, that's like 4 separate DLCs just for a different dungeon.
It makes me think of The Sims. You guys ever play The Sims and all the DLCs for that? That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
I haven't played past the first one.
Oh. Okay.
Because then I learned how awful EA is.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And just looking at like The Sims 4 or The Sims 3 in Steam, and just seeing the outrageous amount of DLC.
Yeah.
It's
ridiculous.
so much. It's
like
so
hundreds of dollars. It's awful. One thing I can relate it to a recent game that seems to know how to do DLC and or expansions is Monster Hunter. Call me a fanboy.
You're
right?
a fanboy.
But thank you. But Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter World have ongoing events that you just have access to, like crossovers, whatever, just by owning the game. The DLC related stuff are like the small downloadable content stuff, like microtransactions and whatnot, are cosmetic or like music packs, stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't have anything to do with like the gameplay of the game itself. The only thing that is like a larger purchase that they charge for is the whatever the DLC expansion is. So for Monster Hunter Rise, it was Sunbreak. But there's so much freaking content in Rise already. Like, you'll take a while to get through that, and then once you hit Sunbreak, then you have a whole bunch of new monsters, but then, all the extra content updates, like we just had Update 1, which was free, adds 4 new monsters to fight, and the armor sets that come along with it, and that kind of stuff. Whereas Wonderlands is charging $10 for that kind of content, which is bad.
Yeah,
it's really bad. So
I mean, while some companies will charge exorbitant amounts for trash DLC, there are people out there who are like, hey, here's this really cool mod I made, have it for free. And that's what's happened with Skyrim once again for like the 10 billionth time.
Nice segue.
Yeah. So we have here the Shadow of Skyrim mod, which is like it's described as Nemesis, an alternative death system. And if you've played Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War, it's that, basically. Which is really cool. Because I love the Nemesis system. It's one of the coolest things ever. It does suck that it's been, like, fully patented and everything.
Trademarked, yeah.
Yeah. But this is still really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I'm also hoping that no, like, because of the amount of press that this mod has got already, I hope that nothing bad happens to it. Because Warner Brothers.
They do have a section titled For Those Concerned About the Warner Brothers Patent, where they go over it's towards the bottom, they go over like the different things with like, there's no Nemesis followers, no social vendettas, no assets used from Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War. Like, it's got some stuff missing from that system, and it should be enough stuff that it's fine, but you never really know.
Yeah. They could be like, oh, this is too similar. We take down the mod now. We're horrible.
It's one of the things I love about Skyrim, and it's one of the reasons that keeps me playing Skyrim. Like, it's been probably about 2 years. Like, looking at Steam, last time I played July 7th, 2020. Then you hear about mods like this, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to reinstall it and just like see what other cool mods on top of this one are out there, because people are still just making really cool mods.
Yeah.
It makes me really just want to give it a try.
Speaking of mods, didn't you do like a stream of like a bunch of horror mod packs for Fallout 4? Didn't you do that?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that a little bit.
Yeah, it was there was a mod to add Siren Head, which is like a creepypasta. Not really. It's a creepypasta. Yeah, it's like a monster that a guy named Trevor Henderson created, and a lot of other like indie horror games were built around it. It includes the creature, but then I also downloaded a Silent Hill theme, which was actually really creepy. So if anyone's played Silent Hill and you hear that air raid siren and you just get like chills, and it worked so well with Fallout. It was a lot of fun.
I call that franchise Scary Hugs.
Yeah, it was spooky. I wish that's the one thing that I haven't really had much luck of for Skyrim, is finding good spooky mods. Like there are some that add like kind of creepy quests and stuff, but like as far as like overhauling the game to make it more horror kind of, like Skyrim hasn't really, I don't really see that. I think it could work, but I haven't seen it.
I was gonna say, like, I wonder if Oblivion does that a little bit better, because the undead in Oblivion are a lot creepier than the undead in Skyrim. Like,
I think as well, Skyrim is just somewhat of a more bright game, just overall.
Yeah,
it feels a lot lighter when you're going around than a lot of other games.
Because they got like lit torches and sconces and braziers everywhere.
But
in the
I mean, even Fallout has mods that darkens everything. Like just the entire game. Like it would be possible to just like make Skyrim less bright and, you know, inviting. I think it would be possible. I just haven't seen it done.
Yeah, I was actually meaning more thematically almost. That's not quite the right word. I can't think of it, but like there's civilization and people are just kind of happy-ish there despite all the bad stuff. Whereas the world of Fallout is very much, oh, everything sucks. Like Skyrim.
Do you think like atmospheric?
It's a thriving world versus a dead world.
Yes, that's the best way to put it. Which I think does lead more to Fallout being looked at as, oh, we can make this horror. Whereas I definitely do think you could make a good horror mod for Skyrim. It would just take a bit more change.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know how much you guys mod, but I don't really mod too much.
I don't mod at all.
Quality of life, and that's about it.
I mod so much. I spend more time modding than playing the dadgum game.
Yeah,
okay.
We have the full range here.
aside from Jared, like if anybody in the comments like thinks that there's some horror mods that I guess Jared's sleeping on or that are pretty good for Skyrim and stuff like that. Say what it's called, but don't link it because that'll get filtered.
Oh.
But Shadow of Skyrim does look cool. It's probably something I'll never play, but the concept being brought into Skyrim is really cool.
Yeah.
Something else that's really cool, right, Sarge? You like this one? I know you like this one. What is it about? Dana Christo.
Yes, knows her way around UI. You didn't set me up for a segue I was able to do.
Oh, I miss Caedo segues.
They are very much just throwing the baton in your face and hoping you happen to catch it.
The subject is the bus, and I'm throwing you underneath it.
Yes. Right, so Bethesda have been doing more and more of these articles talking about like their employees or different content creators or stuff like that, and it's always quite a nice read. So here we have one where they interview Dana Christo, who is a UI programmer at Bethesda. That's user interface. And she's just like talking about how she got into the field of work. She's got a dog in the picture, so thumbs up for that. It's just interesting and nice to just see someone being like really passionate about their job, especially seeing as it's not, I think, the kind of thing that when you think, oh, someone who's working on video games, the first person that comes into your head isn't the person who makes the UI. That's not like the most exciting thing. You think about like, oh, these huge enemies, or oh, the combat system, and oh, all the like fun and exciting stuff. But it's really nice to see someone who's just really down for the UI things, and also ended up helping bring photo mode to Fallout 76.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, you got me, okay? Look, Fallout 76 photo mode is one of the best photo modes out there. It's just a perfect balance between ease of use and ability to get some great shots. And yeah, Dana helped, like, make that. And yeah, was the person who kind of put it forth in a game jam. And then it became just in the next game kind of thing, which is awesome.
And ultimately, like, helps the community as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
For Fallout 76 had the community engage with itself a lot more, too, because of that.
If Fallout 76 did not have base building and photo mode, it would be dead at this point. Yep. Those two things are keeping the community alive.
How long has it been since you guys played?
I've popped in a couple of times. I'm waiting for Expeditions. Once that comes out, I'll figure out if I'll uninstall it to save the space.
Oh yeah, that's something we're still waiting for.
Yeah, I think it's coming out next month at some point. They did actually say, I feel like it's the 13th or something. They recently announced it, and I was like, oh, should I put that on the outline? Oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's more than 2 weeks away, I think, so maybe we'll say in the next one. But yeah, Expedition's coming next month. I honestly think I'll probably, unless I absolutely love Expeditions, I'll probably uninstall the game afterwards. Because I've got, like, 1,500 hours, something like that in it. Like, I've got plenty of time in the game. Dang. It's only new content that's there for me to do at this point, so I don't feel like, oh, it's terrible. It's like one of my most played games of all time. By no means feeling like I've been cheated from it or anything.
Yeah.
I have 12.9 hours into it.
Yeah.
And some of those hours were in Nuclear Winter.
Yeah, we had some fun. I don't know. I'm always been a Fallout fan, but for some reason like last time played was March 29th. I remember I installed it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play it. And then I uninstalled it because I said, I'm never gonna actually play this. I know that I'm not. And I don't know why.
I mean, it is very different from the whole single player going on quest experience. Like, it being a multiplayer game. I mean, now it does have some more focus on quests, which is nice, but
yeah,
I do find it's a lot harder to kind of get into if you're more into the single player rather than the MMO side of things.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know, maybe I'll try it one of these days.
I mean, can install it whenever.
Yeah. And you can, it's a lot easier for you to do like reinstall and stuff too, right, Sarge? Since you have really decent internet now.
Yes, I can actually install things at a nice pace. It's lovely.
Yay!
Nice.
Although that game is like 100 gigs or something ridiculous, so
yeah, it
still
is big.
would take multiple hours.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't take days.
No.
Now, so.
I mean, previously, I think when I first installed it, it was something like a full day. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, much better.
And speaking of something that'll take longer than a full day, Midnight Suns has been delayed and now has a staggered platform release as of according to Polygon. The game, let's see, was expected in October, but now it's going to be in 2023, Marchish, I guess.
Start of the year 2023, yeah.
Yeah. This is a game that I was looking forward to because it's by Firaxis, particularly I think the team that worked on XCOM.
Yep.
So, and this is a Marvel game that's done in that kind of vibe. Yeah. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on it because I love the newer XCOM games so much. And being able to do it with this Marvel spin, especially like, when last was there a Blade game? Because Blade's in it.
Probably when the movies came out.
Probably.
Yeah, probably when there was licensed games. Yeah. So, like, there's just one example of something that I'm just like, hey. Oh, and also, Nick Cage motorcycle guy,
Ghost Rider,
Flaming Skull, Ghost Rider's in it too. Which it's been a while since there was the No, there's the was there a Marvel fighting game? Or am I
I think you
or a
might be thinking of
crossover-
the DC one, maybe?
a
I feel like
crossover
there's
with
been some fighting
him?
games. It could have been in one. I mean, I've played the actual Ghost Rider game for PS2, which is quite good.
That's pretty old now at this point though.
There was a Marvel versus Capcom game that was a fighting game, I believe. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what you're thinking.
Could have been, yeah. Anyway, I hope that this doesn't end up in development hell, because I just really want to play it.
It is the second big delay, because it was originally supposed to come
And-
out in March this year, and now it's planned to come
Yeah.
out by March next year.
And
So-
this further explains why we haven't seen any mention of an XCOM 3 yet, which I really want to happen.
Hmm.
But we got like Chimera Squad, which was kind of a buggy, janky XCOM project, which had some cool concepts, but like it didn't get the care that XCOM 2 did. So I'm hoping that's the case with Midnight Suns, at least, that it's not a jank fest when it does hopefully come out.
Is it supposed to be like turn-based like XCOM as well?
Yeah, it's going to be turn-based. It's going to have a like card-based action system, which it's hard to describe because it's not fully card game thing. But
It's not going to be roguelike, is it?
I don't think so.
I'd never heard of it till you guys put it on here and start talking about it, actually. So it sounds interesting to me.
Yeah.
I like turn-based, and for someone who finally got caught up on most Marvel movies, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'd like to dive into some Marvel. I could get on this.
Oh, did you play the Guardians of the Galaxy game?
No.
It is incredible.
Is
like
it?
the most underrated Marvel game out right now.
Huh, is it on
You
Steam?
remember when yeah, I think it is. You remember when video games were fun? Guys, you remember when they were supposed to be fun?
I do play fun video games, though. I totally do. And I'm sure I won't counter that point when we get onto the final section of this podcast.
we'll split hairs at the very end, but yeah, that is probably the most fun I've had in a video game. Like I played it like last year. So last year that was like the most fun I've had and most pleasantly surprising.
Square Enix published it.
Yeah, Square Enix published, which was also surprising.
And
So I was just like, oh no.
Developed by Eidos. They did
Oh no, I can't wait to see the storefront.
Didn't Eidos, aren't they those same ones that did Deus Ex?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Or Eidos
Montreal?
Montreal?
I don't know how it's pronounced, but
If it's
Eidos,
Eidos Montreal, then
Eidos.
yes.
Eidos,
it was
Eidos, Tomato,
Mhm.
Tomato. Oh,
Mhm.
they did Tomb Raider too. Those were good games too, actually.
Yeah.
Huh, I might have to check it out. Still $60
but yeah,
though. That's
If
I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass, because I was thinking
it
about
should be on
checking it
Game
out.
Pass as well,
I
yeah.
don't have Game Pass anymore.
Can you get like
Oh,
the like deal where they give you like 3 months for $1 a piece?
Maybe. I'm sure.
Yeah. I think even if you're not a Game Pass subscriber, it's worth every once in a while seeing if they're doing like a promotion where they just do it super cheap.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Something else to keep an eye on, right? Is the next thing. Have you guys seen this one? Wreckreation?
I watched the trailer because you linked it.
Yep. Same.
Okay. Okay. So context. Wreckreation is a game with cars. It is by the former Criterion team who did the Burnout series, or part of that team. They have made such games so far as Dangerous Golf and Dangerous Driving. This is the next iteration with a more catchy name, Wreckreation. Wreck spelled W-R-E-C-K. And it looks like just fun nonsense, race around, loop the loop, all kinds of crazy racing stuff, generate tracks by yourself. There may be like a multiplayer thing that I'm missing here, like players adjusting the track as it goes or something like that. At least that's what it kind of seems like in the trailer.
It kind of felt like Fortnite, like they're building it as they're going. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I'm not sure how much of that is like just stylized for the trailer versus like actual gameplay stuff.
Yeah.
It's genuinely difficult to tell.
Yeah, or just somebody uploaded a custom track and then that's what we're seeing kind of thing. But there's, cars running into each other, boost. It's got the soul of the Burnout games, but thankfully is not attached to EA anymore. So
which is a victory.
Yes. So I hope to see more about this game because I want more of this car crashing nonsense, because I don't think that should disappear.
It kind of feels like an old genre, doesn't it? Like a genre that you don't really see that much anymore. Like there's car games, most of it's like off-roading or racing or like typical traditional racing, but just like, what do they call that?
I think it's because
what?
Go ahead.
Well, I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Okay.
I was gonna say I think it's because that there's like a couple of racing staple franchises that just do insanely well now, that all the other ones just kind of disappear. Like Forza Horizon series has been crushing it because they keep adding other stuff that broadens what their gameplay is. And then if you're looking for realism, you have Gran Turismo. Like,
right.
You have those two giant franchises, and then you have this little guy, Wreckreation, trying to fill that little Burnout gap that all of us want really bad, who have played the PS2 era Burnout games.
Yeah, it does very much feel like modern racing games lean heavily towards the more simulation side, whereas more arcadey fun side has been not entirely abandoned, but left to just kind of be in its own tiny little corner of the room.
Yeah. I mean, well, Crazy Eyed Eddie, friend of all of ours, was playing the Hot Wheels update for Forza, which was pretty cool. Lots of the stuff that you see in this trailer, lots of loop-de-loops and corkscrews and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I hope that this kind of starts to fill a niche that's been sorely missed.
Yeah.
Gonna keep an eye on that one too, for sure.
But going from a good trailer to a terrible trailer.
A really bad trailer.
Have both of you seen the trailer for Forspoken?
Yeah, I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, so I haven't linked the trailer to Forspoken. I have linked Sungwon Cho, ProZD, clowning on the trailer. Yeah, because everyone's just taking the piss out of this trailer, which has relatable and witty dialogue, as the executives no doubt thought. It's so bad. Yeah. Wondering,
I'm sure that it got into a conversation at some point, like people wondering like if that was specifically for the trailer, or if that's how the dialogue is.
Yeah.
In certain sections of the game, and in context, maybe it sounds better.
Hopefully this is just for the trailer.
Hope so.
I don't know, because they probably hired
but
this voice actress to do this, and
I think it's more down to the writing than anything, because I don't think there's any way you could deliver these lines in a way that sounds good.
I guess that's what I do now.
Because it
no,
tell me that wasn't awesome.
No, I'm sorry, Jared, it wasn't.
Dang it.
Like, I think the writing's the worst part. Like, maybe it could have been done a little bit better on the voice acting part, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was directed more to sound like this, because it does sound like someone thinking they're really cool while sounding like an absolute... Man, I'm not allowed to say any of the words that came in my head there.
You can use some British words, as right?
I can't remember what's British versus American.
Sounding like a plonker.
Plonker. Yeah, it was definitely only going to go up to the strength of plonker.
Sorry.
No,
you're fine. So anyway, the the ongoing joke is a bunch of people commenting on it, including ProZD, like in the exact same like kind of cadence to it, like describing other games.
Yep.
Like we have one from someone named Mina. It says, "Let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that I would not call Petrichor 5. I'm seeing freaking big crabs, and oh yeah, I'm stealing all this stuff." That one's just Risk of Rain 2 that they're describing. But it's none of it sounds natural, like even said out loud. Like it just doesn't. I'm seeing freaking dragons. Like nobody says that. That's not how people talk.
I will say that when I first watched it, I thought it was a preview for like a cheesy young adult TV show.
Yeah.
Not a game.
It's very much got those vibes.
Not an isekai video game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know about it, and I was like, "What is this trailer for?" And I'm like, "This is some cheesy TV show that they're filming." Nope, that's a game. Not to say that that would make a difference, but I don't know. It just felt more like something you'd see on like the CW.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, depending on when it comes out, I still plan on playing it. Or giving
the
it a
initial
try.
release date is 24th of January 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right before Starfield.
Possibly. I mean, we don't actually know exactly when Starfield is coming out.
Oh yeah, that's because we got Q1.
Yeah.
And that's
Starfield could come out like on New Year's Day for all we know.
Oh, that'd be nuts. No, please take a long time.
I mean, I kind of, for the selfish reasons of YouTube, I hope it doesn't come out in January, because January has, like, terrible ad-paying rates. And Starfield is when,
That's
like,
true.
all the Bethesda tubers will suddenly get a huge spike in views. And if it comes about when pay, like, halves, essentially, from normal, it's going to be a little bit painful that, like, the best month you'll have of the year will be the month where you're earning half your normal wage.
Well, at that point, it just becomes a waiting game. You wait until the next holiday season, and then suddenly they just spike up again.
Yeah, but...
You gotta wait, though.
Yeah, and it's not like you'll get as high a view count when the game's nearly a year old.
I don't know. If it's another Skyrim, it will.
Yes, but we don't know that yet. I hope it's another Skyrim, but let's not get confident here.
Skyrim in space.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be the first of a new franchise too. So
maybe.
Everyone
calm down a bit, all right? Don't get your expectations high.
First of a new series.
Oh, it's gonna have wall running, and all your choices will matter. Like, there's a
just
branching
like
narrative.
Anthem.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Anthem.
Not to tie back to the first
and
news topic, but, you know.
I mean, Starge was definitely implying Cyberpunk.
Yep.
Hey, that works too.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was the ones I was making specific points on, especially the wall running. That still pisses me off a bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as wall running was announced for the game, I was like, okay, now I'll go and pre-order it. It's not in the game.
Yep.
Never made it to the game.
Psych. Sucker.
Well, I linked this one towards the recording time because I was looking for a couple other stuff. This one came out, I think, a couple days ago.
One day ago, so a couple of days by the time this comes out.
Yeah, I'm accurate. So this is a Games Radar article about the Redfall's devs coverage of titled "Bringing Redfall to Life with Arkane Austin." If you don't recall, Redfall is kind of almost like Left 4 Dead like, but with vampires, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's very much shaping up to be a little more immersive simmy than it is like just straight up like kill hordes of vampires or vampire servants.
Yeah, it feels like there's a bit of an open world RPG looter shooter light vibe to it all, which I'm down for. Yeah. And it's it's going to be up to 4-player co-op, and it's possibly play something like that. I'm definitely picking it up. I mean, it's going to be on Game Pass, so I can just pick it up.
About that.
What? No, it's going to be on Game Pass.
No, I don't have Game Pass. I was just like, oh,
Okay.
I don't doubt that it will be. It's freaking Bethesda. So
Yeah.
Someone give Jared some Patreon money for Game Pass. Do it.
Shush.
Make a Game Pass tier.
Shush.
Only one person can support you. I don't know if you can actually do that. Like put a limit to how many people can. I'm sure you can. Like support a specific tier.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's way too off the rails. So anyway, they were talking about the size of the map, like comparing to Talos 1 from Prey, which was huge, by the way. It was still separated by floors and stuff like that, but Talos 1 was massive. It's a massive space station, and that's where you spend like the majority of the game, inside the space station and floating around outside of it in Prey. But they were talking about Redfall's map being, or location being, much larger than that. So lots to explore. They do exploration pretty dang well, so I am kind of stoked for that aspect. And also I know they added like colorful words to like their classes, the 4 characters you can play as, like how having their own like history with, you know, the game itself, that kind of thing. But they might still kind of fall into those archetypes. They're just playing it up for marketing. But I'm still stoked to try like each of them. They each seem very interesting because they all have like superhuman abilities almost. So that makes it fun too.
Thanks.
But yeah, the last thing I played at length that was like a 4-player co-op do stuff together was Deep Rock Galactic. And that game's a lot of fun with more people. But
I've never played it.
I kind of fell off the wagon for that one, and now they have like their seasons system kind of thing. So that makes you have to continuously play a lot, and I just don't have that commitment. So I'm looking for something a little fresh. Redfall might be that.
I mean, let's face it, Caedo, you're not going to be playing a new game anytime soon, because on August 23rd, guess what's coming to Game Pass?
You were waiting for that.
Maybe.
Is it mayhaps something a Kojima topic at the very end?
It's Kojima-san! I linked this just for you, Caedo.
Thank you. I saw it in the news that I was about to link it, and then I found it was already there, and I'm like, Sarge. Sarge is a great friend. So Death Stranding is coming to PC Game Pass. So if any of you have PC Game Pass, like I think like the day after the PIPCAST goes up.
No, it's coming on Tuesday. So 2 days.
Tuesday. So 2 days after the PIPCAST gets published. You'll be able to play Death Stranding without the, you know, frustration of like not enjoying the game like 8 hours in, and then, you know, having spent a lot of money, because you'll be able to play it on Game Pass.
I mean, Caedo has been telling me to play it for ages.
I have.
So as long
primarily
as
for
Tuesday,
the photo mode.
Yeah, as long as on Tuesday there's not any other game stuff huge happening, like the Mortal Empires and new DLC coming to Total War Warhammer 2 on Tuesday, August 23rd, then I don't see why I wouldn't play it. It's not like the biggest game I've been waiting for this year launches on the exact same day at the exact same time.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I very much recognize like the things that turn people off to Death Stranding. If you have invested in Kojima wackiness before, and like Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that, like you could probably handle it pretty well. Like be like, all right, this makes sense in world. I'll go along with it. But if you're somewhat new to like the wacky concepts that Kojima throws at you in his games, like I don't know, we'll see.
I mean, if you think things should make sense, you might not get on with it.
Yeah. And also the story is very front loaded and the tutorials are pretty hard front loaded in Death Stranding. So if you don't like being handheld for, you know, a pretty significant amount of your time, then, you know, it may not be for you either. But after that first point, or like I think it's like after chapter 3 or something like that, that's the part where you get access to the central map, which is the majority of the gameplay, and where things really open up and you get more freedom and more gadgets and stuff. But it's just getting over that initial hump that a lot of people don't like. So I don't know, if you have the time to invest, I would greatly recommend it.
I own it. I just still have never played it.
It's an 11 out of 10 for me, but a 5 out of 10 for a lot of people. There's maybe 6 out of 10, because like the gameplay is tight. Like it is some of the, it's something that Kojima's studios do fairly well is gameplay. I've geeked out enough, I think. Let's move on to the topic at hand.
Oh yeah,
that's right. I picked this one just for you, Jared.
I'm honored. Our topic brought to you by The Gamer. We don't owe them money now or anything.
No,
because we said their name all.
It'd be so funny.
A whole 8 relatable things every Fallout 4 player does.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
Every
so relatable.
One of you listening has done this.
Mm-hmm. All of them. So
I can almost feel the crying laugh emojis that they wanted to put at the end of that title.
Yeah. So how do we want to rate this? Do we want to just do like 1 to 5? 5 being most relatable, 1 being, you know, not at all.
Sure.
I was thinking more of a cringiness factor, more or less cringe than the
factor.
Forspoken trailer.
We could do cringe factor instead.
I mean, I think we'll have to see what the entries are like, because it depends if these are like super obscure things, but considering how our last article went with like picking up items, killing enemies, and stuff like that, I feel like these will technically be relatable, because they'll be just things you can't possibly help avoiding. I bet you already one of them's creating a character, or some garbage like that.
To recreate a character from pop culture.
I'm not even sure if they'll go
attempts
back.
To. They probably won't. They probably won't. It's just my mind trying to make this better than it is.
Like, at least this one isn't 15 things, or else it would be walking to Sanctuary. Trash like that.
Yeah. So let me set the stage with the intros, because sometimes they have some funny stuff in them too. The title is Fallout 4 8 relatable things every player does. Don't test your might against a Deathclaw. It never ends well. It says this was published February 2nd, 2022, and it doesn't look like this was edited. So it was written by Jared Weichy. It says, Fallout 76 may have released to less than stellar feedback, but fans are still reminiscing about their time with the last mainline entry in the Fallout series, Fallout 4. Despite complaints that it didn't evolve the series much, it still provided the quintessential Fallout and Bethesda role-playing game experience. They still call it a role-playing game.
Yeah, I want to say that the complaint wasn't that it didn't involve the series much. I'd say the complaint was almost the opposite of that. But it did change too much from previous
it changed a lot.
That's what annoyed people.
Whether you play role-playing games, just Bethesda titles, or just the Fallout series, there are certain things that you can do that the entire community is guilty of as well. Here's a look at just a handful of things everyone has likely done in Fallout 4 at one point or another. Man, they are reaching for everything possibly broad. Okay, so Jared, would you like to read number 8?
Starting at number 8, forget all about Sean. Who? Want me to read the whole article thing for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. A huge criticism often levied at huge open world playing games is that the main plot is often set up as a critical and serious thing, but it is quickly drowned out by the dozens of side quests and points of interest in the world. This leads to the main story losing the feeling of importance. In Fallout 4, the moment you exit the vault, your goal is to find your son, Sean. You and most other Fallout players likely put said mission of finding your son on the back burner in favor of exploring the world and accomplishing other objectives.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
is this relatable?
Not really
Or is it
cringy, but definitely
Something that happens.
I mean, I guess it's technically relatable. I will say as well, credit to them, that 2-paragraph bit seemed to have no typos or weirdly phrased things.
Yeah, it was well written.
Just my inability to speak.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did correct yourself a couple of times, because if you didn't, everyone would just think it had been wrote like that. Because we have literally read out how it goes, and sometimes there will like be missing letters or just words entirely.
Yeah, it's actually really, really great. So why don't we do like a yes or no relatable thing? Like, gosh darn, like Facebook relatable. Like, oh my god, me too, kind of thing. Like that's the kind of vibe that I'm
gonna give
already.
it a minion giving a thumbs up in terms of relatability.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. Same.
Mere mention of minions, a whole bunch of listeners just drop off. I didn't come here to hear about Facebook or Meta. Anyway. Let's see. Oh, man. Okay, Sarge, would you like to read number 7?
Number 7. Unsuccessfully challenge a Deathclaw. Everyone thinks they're skilled enough to take on a Deathclaw in Fallout, but almost always are humbled by the terrifying creatures. Video games are known for instilling a sense of confidence and providing a power fantasy for their players, but with Fallout 4, that illusion is broken the moment you come across a Deathclaw. It's the type of enemy that you will try multiple strategies and weapons on, only to realise you simply don't have the power or tools to get the job done, despite the fact that the, main quest in this game gives you power armor or a minigun to fight it.
You added that last bit?
Did I? Oh, silly me.
So you're saying it's relatable?
No, it's wrong.
Yeah, this one's not relatable because they give you a freaking minigun and power armor suit.
Yeah. And it's not even like will you find power armor and a minigun like outside of this instance? This is not as like effective. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like really. The power armor and the minigun you get at the very beginning is a little overpowered than the stuff you would normally find.
The enemies you're fighting as well.
Yeah,
aren't that tough. Like the initial Deathclaw you come across is it's as basic a Deathclaw as it gets.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, because Fallout 4 has many variants of each enemy too, which is really one of the things I liked about it that they changed. But yeah, that's not super relatable, I don't think.
Because most of the people who come across a Deathclaw in Fallout 4 absolutely shred it.
The intro is successful. Usually, you got to be really bad at video games, or maybe be playing survival mode.
Yeah, first playthrough, go in on survival mode.
Yeah, and then walk up to the Deathclaw and expect a hug. Like,
oh.
Hug me. Oh no, I'm 2 parts now. Anyway, number 6. Here we go with number 6. Horde power armor. The moment you acquire your first full set of power armor in a Fallout game, it feels like a major milestone. With Fallout 4 including a base building component, it tempted most players into acquiring any and all power armor they could find and displaying them in a tremendous fashion. You know, you're not going to use 1 or 2 different suits during your playthrough, so there's no reason you should have 10 of them displayed on your... There's no reason you should have 10 of them displayed on your front porch. That's just written wrong.
I mean, you actually said it wrong.
I said it wrong?
You're only going to use 1 or 2 different suits.
So there's no reason...
you're not going to use 1 or 2 different suits.
You know you're going to use 1 or 2 different suits during your playthrough, so there's no reason you should have 10 of them. No, that should be no reason you shouldn't.
No, it works fine as it is. It's saying that you're only going to use 1 or 2 different suits, so you don't really need to have 10 of these on there. The implication being that you've done it despite the fact it's not needed.
Context should be shouldn't instead of should.
No?
To make this sentence make sense.
I mean, it works both ways. It's just depending on the tone, that's all that changes.
No, it's incorrect.
It works. Hey,
The
this
second
is
part of the
English,
sentence is
right?
wrong.
As the Englishman here, I'm
No.
telling you this is right.
Don't swing around, your big English man.
Whoa.
This is still incorrect.
No, man. Okay, everyone in the comments, please let us know if I'm right or if you are wrong and agree with Caedo.
Should be spelled as shouldn't, and then it'll be correct.
Either way works fine.
No, it doesn't. That's wrong. It's wrong. We're gonna argue about this.
I mean, as well, there's no reason you shouldn't would technically be a bit of a double negative in there. So I'd say grammatically, if anything, the way they've got it is technically a bit better. However, I don't like the double negative rule being brought up, so I'm only going to put this as a very light point, as opposed to the crux of the argument.
okay, fair. So we could just reword this as, so you can just have 10 of them displayed on your front porch, which would be much easier contextually to read. Anyway, so that's something relatable, I guess. People do
I've
collect.
never done it, but
I was gonna
things-
say not for me either.
I collected them for a video,
Fair.
so I don't
That's
know.
different, though.
I don't know if I'm a good gauge on that.
yeah, I mean, I've seen some people do this, but I think most people don't because you have to get like I feel like the chassis is actually the most difficult part because you have to wear that and bring it back. Everything else you could pick up and just store in your inventory, but I think the chassis makes it a little more difficult to actually collect full suits of power armor. So I don't think this is actually that relatable. I'm going to have a minion shaking the head this time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shaking head minion. Okay.
Plus, I know it says it specifies a full set of power armor, but I mean, does it really feel like that much of a milestone when again you get a suit of power armor in the very beginning?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly was never that impressed with the power armor in the game.
I think Fallout 4 power armor is actually quite good, but the problem is that it does give it to you like within the first hour. So it doesn't really have much of an impact because it's less of an upgrade and more of just an alternate choice.
I just didn't like using it, I guess. Like, not so much that it wasn't good or, not good or not good. I don't know. I just didn't
Did you
really
wasn't
enjoy
like
anything.
it.
power armor in the previous Fallout games?
I don't remember ever really getting into power armor in any of the other ones either.
It could just be a general.
Maybe less so in the older ones.
Yeah.
Because I
know
do.
some people don't like the new power armor kind of system, where it is this suit you get into rather than just a better armor.
Now I do like that.
Okay.
And I know that I've gone on record on previous PIPCasts about wanting like an entire like leveling tree for power armor, kind of like werewolves and vampires and Skyrim. Like that would sell me on it more, I think. But that's just me.
Or like the chassis itself can be upgraded and changed as that kind of werewolf vampire system.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because normally you don't really need to switch out your chassis because you can switch parts back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be kind of cool that when you get into the suit of power armor, it boots up MechWarrior 4 Black Knight and you start playing that game.
Yes.
That'd be so great. Yeah. One other just side note, because this is apparently not relatable. If you do display your power armor in your settlement and you have settlers wandering around, make sure you take the fusion cores out.
Yes.
Oh.
Because your settlers can just grab the power armor when something attacks and not give it back. So
I thought maybe they'd blow themselves up with it or something.
they can. Yes,
I
they
mean,
can still do that
great.
too.
They'll probably lose the pieces by getting shot a bunch.
Yeah. This is so funny. Okay. Well, let's Jared, I'll let you take the fifth one.
Number 5. Hoard every piece of scrap you find. RPGs like the ones Bethesda develops teach you early on that hoarding is welcomed, as you never know how valuable an item can be. With Fallout 4, the post-apocalyptic world is full of hidden treasures, but it's also full of a ton of junk. There's nothing wrong with collecting every piece of scrap, but if you're complaining about being over encumbered, you might want to try and use the tools in place that allow you to quickly sell anything labeled as junk from your inventory. Get that junk from out your trunk.
Is there a sell all junk? There's not a sell all junk thing.
I don't think so.
I don't remember now.
No, I've worked out what it is they're talking about. It's in workshops you can store all your junk with one button press.
So this is just incorrect.
Yeah, they've put the word sell when they mean the word store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can sell junk, you just have to do it one at a time kind of thing.
You can't do it that way.
So there should be a sell all junk feature.
I mean, no, because junk's really valuable in Fallout 4. As in valuable in terms of resources, more so than cap space.
That is true. That is very true.
I thought initially they were talking about like the junk detection thing, like you can mark something for search. And with Scrapper, like you can like see what you're looking for just at a glance.
Caedo, did you really think they were talking about a detailed perk mechanic in a gamer article?
Yes.
What's wrong with you, man? Come on.
Hey, they've surprised us sometimes.
Yeah, like once in about 5 articles. Come on.
But yeah.
I mean, even in this, they're not like talking much about the specifics of why you pick up junk. They're just kind of being like, oh, you'd get valuable items, but there's also junk which people pick up. What a weird thing.
Yeah. And everything has a use in this one, so nearly everything. So, and that was one of the changes in Fallout 4 that was good.
Yeah.
The junk and upgrade system.
I'd say this piece is technically relatable, but I mean, it's relatable in the way I was worried about, where it's like, 10 relatable things humans do every day. Eat food! Oh, wow!
Get out of bed?
What? Actually, I've been sleeping on a sofa this week, so no. Not been getting out of bed.
Sofa?
Get out of sofa? I mean, only because there's a dog to walk. Otherwise, I just lie for all day. But yeah. Technically relatable. There you go, gamer.
Yeah.
Yep. Technically, even though we don't sell labeled junk with the sell junk dedicated.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I would say the title of this particular one is more relatable than the actual body paragraph.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sarge, number 4.
Number 4. Save way too often. Bethesda role-playing games are notorious for having plenty of bugs and glitches. That was a glitch right there. That range from comedic to game-breaking. Because of this, players have been forced to play in an ultra-cautious way, in which saving way too often is a requirement. Most Fallout 4 players form a habit of it, and will automatically go through the motions of doing it right before entering or exiting areas, just in case something weird happens with the game. This is like the first time where I feel like they're being too specific.
It's very specific. Like, I do that with Fallout 3. Or did it with Fallout 3 when I was having that autosave crash thing because I had to disable autosaves completely to run the game.
Oh, damn.
I fixed that later somehow. I don't know how. But this, I don't know. Because autosaves usually, save the entrances and stuff and things like that.
I think save way too often is a bad way to phrase it as well. Because there's, not really any way to save too often unless you're constantly hitting quick save. Because it just means you'll have less time to go back to when you do die. And, quick saves overwrite one another, which isn't too bad a thing. Like, if it was save constantly or something, I'd be like, yeah, that's relatable, because I always want a quick save, before a fight or after a fight, or, before I do crafting. I quick save a lot in Bethesda games, but...
Yeah.
I don't do it, right before entering or exiting areas.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a weird one to do it.
Yeah, I just think saving constantly is something you should do.
Yeah.
In any game?
I was going to say I do it in, every game that has quick save.
Yeah. I don't know. So I guess this is relatable, but it's really just a kind of a no-brainer almost kind of thing. I don't know. Well, I say no brainer, but that's like one of the top tips of like the classic Fallout games because they don't have an autosave. So like that's something I think of constantly is like, hey everybody, in Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, your quick save key is F4, your quick load key is F5. Learn it. Study it. You will die.
I mean, there was an old, I think it was actually an old phrase from back in early gaming, save early, save often. Right?
Yeah.
It's just something we've been doing as gamers for like ever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do it in everything, I've realized.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time I do a cut in a video, I'll save the file.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Same.
Why wouldn't you save often? Like way too often is the correct amount to be saving, because then you're not losing your progress.
Yep.
And yeah, if you severely screw up something, then you have something to go back to.
Yeah. Or you can play Fallout 4 in survival mode and you can't save too often, and you get stressed out every single episode, and everyone's like, "Hey Sarge, why don't you just go down the bottom of the map? It'll be fine." Stupid people.
And then you're in a desperate need of like water and a bed, and you're just like, well, I can't find a room with both.
Yep.
It's fun. Okay, so number 3, panic heal during a fight. As will be discussed in the next entry regarding the VAT system, spoilers, players often become distracted in Fallout 4 during combat and can forget about other aspects of the game. One of those aspects, as crucial as it is, happens to be healing. Poisons, radiation, and other debuffs can quickly stack and drain your life, and most players are guilty of quickly pausing and healing themselves with whatever they can in order to avoid dying and having to reload a previous save point.
Hey kids, do you heal in a fight?
Yeah, this is just healing. This
is a bad one.
It's not even panic. You don't have a panic healing button in Fallout 4.
I mean, I have panic healed recently where I've screamed because my health bar's going down and I just spam stim packs, but that's it.
Yeah, I more recently when I booted up Fallout 4, I found out that there's no like dedicated healing button like there is in 76. I'm like, oh man, I missed that.
Oh, okay. See, I've got my hotkeys for all of the Fallout games already. I always set them up at the very start, with like 0 being stim pack, minus being rad away, equals
oh, it's so
being
far away
Radex.
from your left hand. What are you doing?
I move fast.
Oh my goodness, Sarge.
Plus, if I'm healing, I don't want to be focusing on doing combat-based stuff, so I need my hand away from that.
Oh.
Yeah,
I have healing set to 4. Usually.
4? No, that's for changing weapons. 1
1,
through 8 are weapons and chems.
That's so many weapons. I just need 1, 2, and 3 usually, and maybe 5.
Wow. Look at Mister, I don't carry 7 guns on me at all times.
I don't. If I am carrying 7 guns, I have to go to town and sell them.
No. I probably only use 4 or 5 hotkeys for that. Because 1 is closest range, then the highest number is furthest range. So you have your melee, then your shotgun, then your pistol, then your rifle, then your sniper. That's 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I like it.
It's usually 1, 2, and 3 for me too, because it's like melee and or short range, and then mid range and then long range. That's my 1, 2, and 3. So, and then something absurd in 5, like a rocket launcher or something.
Yeah.
Or a fat man, something like that.
Man, but then you're going from weapons to healing back to weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm getting shivers now. Go on.
The order makes sense to my brain.
This, but...
Yeah. All right, fine. So what do we need to forget about in number 2, Jared?
Well, let me tell you. Number 2, forget about it. Forget about VATS. Or the Vault Tank Assisted Targeting System, VATS for short, is a visual system you can use to slow down time dramatically and mark pinpoint shots on enemies. The game provides you with percentages on how likely you are to hit that target. The problem is that many players forget this system exists in Fallout 4 and simply approach combat as if it is any other first-person or third-person shooter. VATS can really change the dynamic of a fight and allows you to be more strategic and efficient with your weapons. So it's worth remembering. You can use it pretty much whenever you want.
Is this relatable?
It doesn't seem relatable to me.
I'll be honest. I rarely ever used VATS when playing Fallout games.
But did you forget about it?
Yeah,
I did not forget about it. I cannot relate to that specific part of it, but
because I know, Sarge, you make a conscious choice to use not that much VATS, right?
Yeah, I very rarely use VATS because, I mean, Fallout 4 is a good shooter.
yeah.
That's like one of the biggest ways it's stepped up in the franchise, which does mean you can hit your targets a lot easier, so you don't have to rely on VATS, therefore it's just an option. While there are playstyles that lean heavily into VATS, and it's good to use from time to time, I find that I never really forget about it. I just don't use it.
I think of it like forget about it as in like I don't forget as in a memory. I just forget it. I don't want to use it.
Yeah, forget that. I'm not doing it. In my most recent series, I have been accused of like not using VATS when I should be, and I'm like, no, I'm just not using it because now's not a good time to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only time I ever used it when it was first unveiled in 3, it's like, oh, this is neat.
Yeah.
And then I stopped using it because I was like, it's neat, but it's just, I can hit things.
A reminder that you're also nearly immortal when you use VATS for everyone else listening.
VATS defense is good.
VATS defense. When it's playing through, not when you're in the aiming thing.
Yeah. I do wonder if I've actually used VATS more for defense or for attack. Because I am a bit guilty of using it to, like, save myself, or at least try and save myself. If, like, a grenade has just landed at my feet, I'll be like, how many VATS shots can I go into now?
Or you can just, like, point blank shoot it and be fine.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. Or like Super Mutant Suiciders, they get like right up in your face, then you go into VATS immediately and shoot their arm.
Yeah.
And then you're fine.
Yeah.
Instead
just like real
exploding.
life.
Yep.
Just like real life. We have Pip-Boys, and we have Vault-Tec system that allows us to aim at body parts in slow-mo and methodically pick targets. Oh my god. And Sarge, it's good that number 1 ended with you, because you knew. It's like you knew.
Number 1. Spend way too long customizing your character. It's become a meme at this point that any game featuring character creation and customization starts with you as the player spending an ungodly amount of time perfecting your appearance. With Fallout 4, this tradition continues, but thankfully, the game allows you to play in both first and third person, so the time spent making sure your character looks exactly like you'd want them is justified. At the end of the day, it's clear that however much time you spent on these menus was far too much. At least you'll likely put that much time into every other aspect of the game.
Yeah, relatable.
Pop culture figures, Caedo. You thought it was going to be pop culture figures.
I mean, that almost looks like Walter White.
I was going to say.
I mean, it's a bald white guy with a beard.
That's Walter White.
That's Walter White.
No one else.
and he's going to be dealing in chems. It makes a lot of sense.
And to be fair, if you were trying to create a celebrity recreation, it probably would take you a little longer than normal, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do that.
That's why I was talking about it.
So you kind of you were kind of there.
But I think Sarge. Yeah, Sarge, you were closer on.
Yeah, I wasn't going to give them more credit than they deserved. I've read enough of these gamer articles now. They are unflavored popcorn. Sometimes the popcorn also has shrapnel in. This one didn't appear to have a shrapnel, but it was then like, there's no shrapnel in my unflavored popcorn. Wow.
This a very interesting metaphor, but I like it. Unflavored popcorn.
Yes. I'm just looking at the next 2 articles as well, which are Fallout characters that have appeared in more than one game, and Fallout ranking the Brotherhood of Steel from worst to first. I'm just like, To all of this.
Yeah. Wait, where are you seeing those?
They're
Oh,
my
the
next up
big
thing.
the big
Yeah.
banner thing. Yeah, so this one was yeah, very unflavored popcorn, as you said. Or unseasoned popcorn.
You know, I think this
Just-
might be the most boring of the gamer articles.
Probably the most boring
Like, the
that
last
we've gone
one
over. I feel bad.
was infuriating enough to not be boring, but
To
in
keep
a
it
bad
interesting.
way.
Yeah.
It's like how getting punched in the face isn't boring,
Yeah.
but this one was like someone following around saying, "Oh, I'm gonna punch you in the face at some point," and they never do. It gets boring after a while.
Yeah.
Just please punch me in the face. Liven things up.
I want to feel something, like a punch in the face. Yeah. All right. Well, I swear next time, Jared, we'll have a more interesting one.
I had fun.
But I'm glad you had fun. That was the goal.
Yay.
Come back and have some fun. Making fun of the gamer article.
I feel that for a rule for the internet, if you see something with the word relatable in the title, don't click on it. Save yourself the time.
That's a good, yeah,
Mhm, yeah.
that's a good thing to live by, I think.
Yeah, there's better things you can do with your time.
Because
Like staring at a wall.
I made the Facebook association. It's very close to that. Like you could
Oh,
see
God,
this on like single slides of this list on a Facebook post from a generic Fallout fan page that's just trying to get more views or more clicks. There's a lot of those on Facebook too. Some pretty garbage ones, I gotta say. We're done with that, so we can talk about what we're playing and working on and perhaps doing tomorrow / tonight, Saturday.
Wait,
At least
yeah, in the past, right? From when this comes out?
Yes, Saturday to yesterday. when this comes out, I've confused everyone successfully. We are getting back into D&D, but unfortunately, we're not, streaming it or anything like that. So we could probably give cliff notes.
Yeah.
Like what, Sarge? You haven't made a character yet because you're not in just yet. You're like
No.
waiting until next weekend.
Yes.
But I have made a Harengon cleric, which is a rabbit humanoid type character. I'm a furry. All right. I guess that's the joke. I guess that's the joke that I'm a furry now.
Well, there's going to be one happy comment.
Yeah.
At least I know that.
Of course. Like, but you were playing. You were playing not a lion. What's
Leonin, barbarian.
Leonin. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I was previously
in
playing.
the in the previous one. So
Yeah. But now we're going to space, right?
we're going to space. Magical space.
Spelljammer, baby.
Yeah. And what are you playing, Jared?
Oh, baby. I am playing. I rolled a Fallen Azamir. I think I'm saying that right. It might be Azamir. I don't know. It's essentially a fallen angel character, celestial being, named Jericho. He's also a bounty hunter and a gunslinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like if Percy ascended.
Yeah, my inspiration was like, Mandalorian, Clint Eastwood,
Oh, okay.
just really gruff and just, yeah. When we were first told we were going to be playing Spelljammer, I was like, I don't even really know that much about it. Told me it was going to be in space. I was like, I got to make a gunslinger. Unfortunately, I think as it stands, there is no gunslinger outside of Critical Role. So I had to kind of do this mixed sort of thing. So
like
it's
some of the Critical Role and homebrew stuff.
Yeah, but it works and it's going to be fun and awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that while I'm not joining yet, I have vaguely looked at what Spelljammer is, and without having any idea what classes and stuff there are, I'm leaning towards an Astro Elf Thief.
Ooh.
Nice.
I don't know how I'll make it, but that's something for me to worry about next week when I actually make the character and learn all the rules.
We'll have a dagger.
What?
Critical Role.
It's cool.
reference.
I'm sorry. I'm a critter now. It's what happened over the last year, and that's what made me interested again.
I
all their
actually
fault.
got disinterested in a Critical Role adjacent thing because the other day I tried watching The Legends of Vox Machina.
Oh,
You
I
didn't like it?
that much. Like, it's not bad. It's just kind of, yeah, I get it.
yeah.
And
There was I get it. I do get it.
Did you watch their live play at all?
no.
See, I think that's probably why, because a lot of the characters and references, if you'd watched like their live play this whole time, then you'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's almost a nostalgia kind of a
Yeah.
situation.
Oh yeah, if you're a fan, I imagine it's amazing. But as someone coming into it like just fresh to the series and being like, oh, I've heard Caedo go on non-stop about Critical Role and stuff. Let's check out this anime. It
Yeah.
looks fun. I watched
Yeah,
the
The
whole
Legend
of
of
the
Vox
first
Machina
episode.
is probably not something I would recommend as a first timer, because Jared's right. Like, there's a lot of stuff in it that you're just like, oh yeah, I know that. Like,
It's a reference on to show.
yeah, kind of, yeah. But also I think they front loaded a lot of the poo-poo humor a little too much. In The Legend of Vox Machina, which I know they do that like during the playthrough, but like it seemed like it reduced Scanlan's character just to like a poop joke, or a pee joke, which was unfortunate because like he does a lot more than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Which makes me hopeful for like the second season. Like maybe now that they've like done a lot of the self-referential stuff and like really just aggressively sped through like a lot of the origin stuff too. I'm hoping that their pace, like they kind of paced slowed down after they got to the Briarwood stuff, but I'm hoping the pace, is easier to digest in the second season, because of that. That first few episodes are difficult sometimes.
Yeah, you don't really know what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
Honestly, even for someone who watched from the first campaign of theirs and stuff, like some of it I was like, I don't remember who these people are or what this is supposed to be, so it is even to the initiated, it's a little confusing and like just
I mean, in that case, it sounds like I'm at a tiny bit of an advantage because I wasn't at all confused because these were new characters who were introduced to me. But I'm guessing there was a whole ton of stuff going on which I'm just completely oblivious to due to not having any of the source. So it was just like, yeah, there's a person. So what?
Yep.
Because obviously it's like walking past a stranger in the street.
That is a person. You're right.
Yep.
You are correct. So that's one of the things you watched, right?
Yes.
So why don't we go into that?
Yes,
Sarge?
probably should. Well, I have mostly been watching stuff because the whole past week and up till Monday evening, I'm dog sitting, so I don't do any gaming. But fortunately, I have access to YouTube, Prime Video, and Disney Plus at the place I'm dog sitting. So I've been watching a lot of content. I've watched Good Omens. I've watched Invincible. I've watched a lot of movies. Best one I watched was Guns Akimbo, which is great.
That is it's such a fun movie.
It's so fun. I also have tried to watch a couple of things which are like seen as classics and stuff, but I started with the movie Brazil.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
I don't blame you.
It's twice as long as it needs to be. And it's, at the time, I'm sure it was very like, oh, look at this showing the, like, dystopian world, all bureaucracy and stuff. But now it's a theme I've seen like 100 times over. So, a movie from 40 years ago doesn't have as much novelty as it needs to.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cult classic. It's from Terry Gilliam.
Dystopian film.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was with the Pythons and does a lot of like weird movies. Like I also watched Jabberwocky, which I did enjoy.
I haven't seen that one.
It's kind of not fun. Yeah, it is fun. That one as well does the comedy better.
I like how there was a
comedy's a lot
question. Is
yeah,
it
I
fun?
had to think about it for a second, but no, there are actually like jokes and stuff in that I enjoy and situations which are humorous, which I feel Brazil was missing a lot of. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I actually laughed out loud at any point in Brazil. There are a couple of like light jokes in there, but stuff that makes you smile more than anything else. Which in a 2.5 hour movie, which is described as a comedy as well, a dark comedy, I'm like, no. not good enough.
Yeah.
But besides that, and before I headed out from the apartment, I played some of the Nadir demo, which went live on Steam, which is like this little roguelite deck building game, which is a genre I'm into. I tried it out one time with like Slave Aspire and stuff, and it turns out I enjoy that side of things.
Nice.
Problem is, I don't particularly enjoy Nadir.
Ah.
It is still in like the demo stage and stuff, and a bit of a beta project, so hopefully it can improve from here. But I found it was needlessly complex at points, and there's a lot of terminology used that just... It feels like they're going for more of an oldie world feel, which is nice on the one hand, but when they're calling like the cards you're playing with slates and have them at rocks at the top of the screen, and it's like play
new terminology
a slate.
that doesn't.
Yeah, new
need to
terminology
exist.
and the UI not being the same as the norm makes it a little difficult to figure out what's going on and what you need to do, and kind of it's difficult to get to a point where you understand all of what's going on. And if you're really happy with the game overall, then you'll spend the time to do it. But I wasn't. I found it wasn't that exciting. I got to the point where, like, after half an hour of playing, I think it was, I just tried to see if I was able to lose, because I was finding that no matter what I did, I was winning every fight without taking any damage. And it took me, I think, 4 fights to lose all my hit points while trying to lose every single one of them. It was like, wow, this, for a game that I don't understand what I'm doing half the time, this is way too easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, didn't get on with that, but I don't think it's necessarily a terrible game. Might be worth checking out the demo if you are into like gothic art style deck builder roguelites, because it's a free demo, so why not?
Yeah.
Other than
Why
that,
not?
though, I've been playing a much more polished game, Magic the Gathering Arena,
Oh.
where I also sometimes was having fun. Yeah, I'm complaining about gaming. I'm
Was
sorry.
this fun?
The problem is that I've come back to Arena after like a year or 2 away from it. And there's this new thing in Magic the Gathering called Alchemy, which are like all of these different sets with cards that you can't use in most of the modes. That's what Alchemy is.
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought there was more. I thought there was more.
I thought there was more as well, but I'm not finding that. It's supposed to be like a semi-historical setup that they're now creating, or like a new version of Standard. But all it means for me, who's someone who plays Brawl, which is Arena's version of Commander, is that like a lot of the cards I really like, I'm not allowed to use. Because they're Alchemy ones instead. And it also means if I earn an Alchemy pack of cards, I'm not actually earning any cards to my collection. And it's slowed down the progression of the game by half, essentially, because half the time you're getting Alchemy stuff, and it means a ton of events I just won't get involved in because they're Alchemy. And there's 0 positives for the whole Alchemy thing. So yeah, I don't know how much longer I'll keep Magic the Gathering Arena installed if Alchemy sticks around, because it's becoming more frustrating than fun.
Have you been following the new onset nonsense, by the way? Speaking of Magic the Gathering.
I've not. I've avoided it.
I got the like hearing it in the background details of it, but it sounds like the new onset is going to be tournament legal, but also includes stickers to make the cards modular, which, saying that out loud, in a collectible card game where the cards can reach the thousands in value, and the idea of putting stickers on a card is the worst idea in the world.
Are they like, this sound like a weird question, are they permanent stickers, or are they like those stickers that you
They
can
are adhesive back stickers that you put on the card, or like probably like some of the smarter players might be doing, they might just put it on a sleeve.
Yeah, sleeve would kind of work.
Because holy crap, dude.
Yeah, there's going to be so many ruined cards.
Why?
Sheesh.
Yeah, but like I feel bad for like the big Magic the Gathering like YouTubers, because all they're doing at this point is just reporting on the nonsense that Wizards is deciding to do, and like the majority of the players just hating their corpo nonsense. So yeah, I don't.
I mean, they had a really nice, simple money printing machine going on, and it seems like they're just tinkering with the machine to a point where it doesn't need to be. Like, people were going to keep buying the new sets as long as they were, like, not complete trash. That's all that needed to happen. But they were like, what if we made stickers to ruin the cards as well? You want to buy them? Yep. What if we make cards that you can't use in half the game? What about that?
And, you know, once you've used the stickers, well, you paid for them. They're used up. It's like, it's so ridiculous. It's like just putting your card in the fireplace. I feel like that's basically what you're doing. You're just like, I've committed to this. If I don't like it, then it's trash now.
Yeah. I own Magic the Gathering cards, which are like third hand at this point, come from like the initial seasons or series of Magic, whatever they're called. And I've got no doubt that most of them are in better condition than any card that has got a sticker on it now. That's an easy way to ruin a card.
Yeah. So is that all you've been? Sorry, we went on a tangent about Wizards sucking.
Yeah.
Jared, would you like to share what you've been playing?
Sure.
A little bit more.
Well, before I do that, I wanted to ask Sarge. Or I actually, because you said you're into like deck building games and stuff like that. I'd be interested to get your feedback on a game called Inscription.
Oh, dude.
Inscription.
Kite has played the crap out of that game. You might like it, Sarge.
I admittedly have not finished it myself, but I'm not a big fan of deck games, and this is a really cool game. It's kind of got a horror motif to it, but I would say it's more weird than spooky.
I've given it a Google and get what you mean.
Yeah,
I've not played it myself.
Maybe give it a shot. I'd be interested to hear what you think of it.
Yeah, I mean, on first look, just from some screenshots, it looks fairly straightforward and simplistic, but that's by no means a bad thing. I think it's often better to make your card game simple rather than complicated. Which is why when I made a card game, that's exactly what I did.
I will say that it's one of those games where there's more than meets the eye.
Yeah. The game itself evolves over time. I will say
no more than that, though.
Yeah, it gets ridiculous.
But anyhow, as far as what I'm doing, what I'm playing, honestly, it's gonna sound a lot like actually what Sarge is saying. Like, I've been watching a lot of catching up on movies, videos, and stuff like that. I've been kind of in a gaming funk, honestly, where nothing's really outside of the stuff that I do for my channel, indie horror games, stuff like that. Like, nothing's really kind of like stood out to me as something that I really want to spend time doing. So I recently just got caught up on most like Marvel, because I've been behind on those since Iron Man 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so I finally I pretty much watched everything. There's still a few things that I haven't gotten, and that all started, and I was catching up with all of Star Wars, like Mandalorian. I hadn't seen Mandalorian season 2 or Obi-Wan or Boba Fett or anything. Started with those, watched Marvel, so I've just been kind of on this movie, TV show bender sort of a thing. I've been enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie, I've been enjoying it a lot. It's kind of nice taking a break from playing games. Strangely enough,
being actively entertained to passively entertained.
Yeah, you know, it's a whole lot of that, and then to expand upon earlier the tip of the day, which was trying a different genre of game, and what I was referring to, playing a Souls-like game, I streamed actually tonight when I got home from work and before the PIPCAST, a game called Thymesia. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Thymesia?
Huh?
Thymesia, like amnesia.
Oh,
kind of. That's my guess anyway.
That could be it. I don't know. It's a Souls-like game, and it's the first Souls-like game that I've actually played more than 10 minutes of. As mentioned before, with the first Dark Souls, going to fight a billion skeletons was not smart and kept me from ever playing a Dark Souls game again. Which is funny because I actually did buy Elden Ring, but I never played it. Well, because I broke my hand.
Oh, right.
When that game came out, and I was like, I want to play it, and I'm going to try to play it with my cast on because I'm smart.
When you got to that giraffe fight.
No.
Yeah.
You should see the giraffe.
Yeah, you gotta think about when you decide to fight a giraffe. Like, what's gonna happen?
You know, it was
what if the giraffe got messed up? Like, I'm all for it.
I saved those orphans. All right, that's all.
Good. They're gonna get giraffe trampled. Like, that was gonna look weird on their death certificate.
Yep. Here lies little Timmy, death by giraffe hoof. Nope, not happening. Not on my watch. Today. Anyways. Most of my game playing other than that has been just like been going through my library, like, oh, what looks interesting, downloading something, playing 10 minutes of it, and then uninstalling it. Just like nothing has been sticking. And I had fun with Thymesia. I made it to the first like major boss, beat it after much frustration, and it did feel good, and I probably will play more. But other than that,
it's like a drug.
You know, I don't know, because I was really close to being like, I don't think I'm gonna keep playing this game. This is making me too mad. And it was like midnight my time in an apartment. I'm like, I'm gonna wake up my neighbors. What was I thinking playing a game like this late at night?
Just shouting.
Yeah, lots of cursing.
Yeah,
you know, on my wholesome gaming channel.
Yeah, so wholesome.
But yeah, other than that, just a mixed match of stuff and watching stuff. So that's all I've got going on.
Well, cool.
How about you?
I wrote a lot down, and I'm gonna feel bad if I over explain.
No.
So, if you've been listening for a while, last couple of weeks at least, a lot of you will know that I got a PS5 finally, and I've been kind of going through the library of games that I've wanted to play for so long, but didn't have a PS5 to play them on. So this one was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Usually when Insomniac makes a launch title, like they've probably done it since PS2, like somehow involving the mechanics of whatever the new system has. So now they have the resistant triggers and what else? The just the hardware in general being extremely fast and how it loads things. It's ridiculous, by the way. But in Rift Apart, like you were instead pulling yourself to a location, but the location is moving instead. So it's very hard to explain, but it's very disorienting the first few times you do it because your character is not moving and the whole world is. It's like dimension hopping, basically. And there's a new female Longbacks character along with another little robot companion introduced in Rift Apart that you switch to play as. So you switch between Ratchet and Clank and Rivet and Kit. And it's not, it doesn't feel like it was forced. It feels like a natural switch between the two characters. Because the context of the game is rifts are opening, like the Dimensionator was misused, and now like there's all kinds of jacked up stuff like flying between dimensions. And in this case, Kit and Rivet are the counterparts to Ratchet and Clank in their dimension. So like and then they work together to basically fix the dimensions in this game, which is really cool. Not going to go too deep into that, but it is very fun. It's some Ratchet and Clank goodness if you like, your 3D platformers with ridiculous weapons. Also, I've been playing the Monster Hunter Rise Update 1. I already ranted about, how to do updates well. Monster Hunter is one of those games where they've had many iterations of this series. At this point, they've got it down to a pretty good science that like they know what works, what keeps players playing their game. The gameplay loop in general is just really fun. So if you haven't played Rise in a little bit, first content update is out. More new monsters to fight. Sunbreak is really fun. I watched, when we're talking about watching stuff, I did watch The Umbrella Academy season 3, the one that Sarge told me about that I thought I watched but I didn't. Finally watched it all the way through. I binged it one day. I think it's the day that I was having a video game funk where I was like, I don't want to play anything. It's like nothing sounds fun right now. Maybe I was kind of burning out on Rise. But yeah, I got to watch The Umbrella Academy. It was really cool. I did like the Vanya Victor segment stuff, like tying into the stuff with the kid and the person that was part of a relationship with them. It's kind of cool. I liked it. All the characters, most of the characters had really cool changes to their like or cool developments to them. Most of them. There's one character that I complain loudly to Sarge and many others about, but I'm not going to spoil it because it seems like it's a consensus for the community. So make your own draw your own conclusions with this one character if you watch Umbrella Academy season 3.
No one defends that character.
I don't. Okay. I'll take your word for it.
I've not seen a single defense online. They are bad in so many
if this
ways,
character becomes a villain, that's my main thing. If they become a villain, then it all makes sense. But if they're suddenly redeeming themselves again for some god awful reason, then I'll just be like, I forever hate this character.
Yeah, I think most people are hoping this is the start of a villain arc.
It should be. It absolutely should be, I hope.
Yeah, they've done some irredeemable stuff.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
I was just gonna make a snarky remark, so it's not that.
No,
important.
do it.
No, do it.
I haven't seen Umbrella, but when I do, I'm going to find this character you're talking about, and I'm going to purposefully like them just to annoy you.
Okay, genuinely, see if you can work out, because it's a character who's in earlier seasons as well as season 3. That's as much specific as I'll give you. But if you do start working out, try and work out who becomes the character everyone hates.
Well,
and keep us updated, because it genuinely will be fun to see.
It will change, I think, depending on, what the focus is on the season, because the seasons do kind of jump around a bit for like who's the focus. So
challenge accepted.
Yeah, but like you got 3 seasons to get through, I think, although if you haven't watched it at all. So
I haven't watched any of it,
but I knocked.
It's a good show.
I
overall.
knocked season 3 out in a night or in a waking hour.
Are they like full length shows, or is it like 12 episodes
I think
for
they're
a season?
Full length shows, aren't they?
So
they're
like 25, 30.
No, it's not that long. It's more like the 10 episodes a season sort of thing, I think.
Okay.
But I think each episode's like an hour, I want to say.
Yeah, like 48 minutes or 50 minutes or something like that.
I like that.
Yeah. It's like a full day's worth of watching, potentially.
Fair enough.
Okay, and finally, I've been playing the crap out of Project Zomboid because Nelsar and his cousin were playing it, or his uncle. They were playing it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's pretty fun zombie survival game. You'll probably like it." And I do. I like it too much, in fact, that I haven't been doing much else. It's an early access zombie survival game, but it's another one of those where very similarly to Kenshi, like the direction is so freaking solid in that game that it just seems like it all makes sense. Like once you click with the game, like the rest of the game just works for you. And I like that. I like indie projects that do that. Can't say too much else. It's a game where you die a lot, and because there's character progression, it sucks every single time. Because you got to go if you're in a persistent world, like things do definitely get worse as the world progresses. So if you continuously die, like you'll kind of be stuck in this spot where your character constantly sucks, but maybe you have a little base that you've built up that you can go back to and hide in. But the map stays annotated from previous characters too if you're in the same game, which is kind of nice. And you can run into the zombified version of your previous character as well, and take them out, put them out of their misery if you want to.
That's cool.
So, anyway, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've already talked about all this junk enough. Thank you for joining us again, Jared. It's been a treat.
Yeah.
Hope that depending on like how our schedule changes for D&D, I don't know like how that's gonna do for PIPCAST recording too, because we might, I don't know, me and Sarge might have to switch to Fridays. I don't know if Fridays are good for you.
I mean, we've done more Friday recordings than Saturday recordings, I think, at this point anyway.
Yeah, but I don't think Jared has Saturdays open, so we could talk about that later when it happens. But thank you all for listening and watching whatever B-roll we have up. Tune in next time for the PIPCAST 3000 every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, for another maybe more well thought out topic. I don't know. maybe something like that. Also, if you want to see, Jared and Sarge and all of us, all our details are down below in the description to see our social media or check out their channels or whatever. So everyone take care, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.